Some places on Earth look impossible. Mountains that shouldn't exist, landscapes that look like another planet, and structures that seem to defy reality. But they're all real. High in India's Spiti Valley, the landscape begins to look almost lifeless. Komic sits approximately 4,587 meters above sea level. At this altitude, oxygen is scarce, vegetation is limited, and the growing season is short. Yet people have adapted to this harsh landscape and built a life here. But another community chose an even stranger place to live. Far south of Tokyo, a tiny volcanic island rises dramatically from the Pacific Ocean. Aogashima has a rare double caldera structure, with one volcanic formation inside another. And inside this enormous volcanic landscape, people have built a community. From the ground, it looks like an ordinary island village surrounded by extraordinary volcanic walls. But from above, the tiny settlement reveals just how extraordinary its surroundings really are. And if that seems impossible, our next location takes human construction to an entirely different level. Imagine looking up and seeing enormous stone pillars rising hundreds of meters above you. And somehow, centuries ago, people built monasteries on top of these cliffs. For centuries, reaching some of these monasteries meant climbing sheer cliffs with almost no easy route. But these extraordinary cliffs weren't built by humans. They were shaped by geology over millions of years. At Varlam, pilgrims were once raised beside the cliff in a suspended net, hundreds of meters above the ground. Today, visitors can reach the monasteries using roads, stairways, and carefully built paths. The journey is still steep, but compared with the past, reaching the summit is remarkably easier. From Greece, we travel east to a landscape where volcanic rock was sculpted into something extraordinary. Over time, people discovered they could carve homes, churches, and entire settlements directly into this soft volcanic rock. But the strangest part of Cappadocia isn't above ground. Beneath it, entire underground cities were carved into the rock. Derinkuyu extends roughly 85 meters underground, with rooms, passages, storage areas, a chapel, and ventilation shafts. Ventilation shafts brought air underground, while wells, kitchens, and storage rooms helped sustain life below the surface. And when danger came, massive circular stones could be rolled across passages to seal the entrances. Above ground, the strange volcanic landscape continues. But Earth can sculpt rock into shapes far taller, stranger, and more numerous. Wulingyuan contains more than 3,000 narrow sandstone pillars, many rising over 200 meters. Over immense spans of time, uplift, weathering, and erosion gradually sculpted the sandstone into these isolated pillars. When mist fills the valleys, the stone pillars can appear to rise from a sea of clouds. Standing among them, their true scale becomes obvious. Some pillars rise more than 200 meters. Between the pillars are deep gorges, streams, waterfalls, caves, and even enormous natural bridges. Today, visitors can explore this enormous landscape through established trails, roads, and viewing routes. But our next landscape is almost the opposite. Here, there are virtually no mountains at all. Salar de Uyuni is the world's largest salt flat, covering an immense expanse of roughly 10,000 square kilometers. Up close, this endless white surface becomes a vast mosaic of natural salt patterns. The surface is so extraordinarily flat that distant land seems to disappear into the horizon. Then, during the rainy season, shallow water spreads across the salt and transforms the landscape completely. With the sky reflected beneath your feet, the horizon can almost disappear, creating the illusion of walking through the clouds. From above, the shallow water can transform enormous sections of the salt flat into a natural mirror. This extraordinary flatness is the legacy of ancient lakes that evaporated, leaving thick layers of salt behind. Far across the Indian Ocean lies an island where evolution created a world unlike almost anywhere else. Among Socotra's most remarkable plants is the dragon's blood tree, found naturally only on this island. Its unusual crown can intercept moisture from fog, helping water reach the tree and the soil beneath it. Beneath its canopy, the ground can support more plant life than the exposed landscape around it. Across Socotra, these trees form ancient woodlands, relicts of vegetation that once covered much broader regions. Its name comes from a deep crimson resin that emerges when the tree is wounded. Isolated for millions of years, Socotra became a refugee where species evolved in remarkable ways found nowhere else. And Socotra has another bizarre plant, a tree from the cucumber family with a remarkably swollen trunk. That swollen trunk is part of its adaptation to life in Socotra's dry environment. And remarkably, this tree belongs to the same botanical family as cucumbers and melons. And that isolation left Socotra with an extraordinary concentration of species found nowhere else on Earth. Rising above the rainforest, Mount Roraima looks less like a mountain and more like a gigantic stone table. At the summit, the landscape changes completely. Bare rock, pools, mosses, and plants adapted to life above the clouds. Rainwater has carved the ancient sandstone into bizarre channels, hollows, and natural sculptures across the summit. Heavy rainfall collects in natural depressions, creating clear pools between the ancient sandstone formations. And because the plateau rises so high, clouds can wrap around its cliffs while the summit remains above them. At this altitude, clouds and mist frequently surround the summit, making the plateau seem suspended above the rainforest. And beneath this strange landscape are rocks roughly 2 billion years old, older than the dinosaurs by an unimaginable margin. Its isolation created a biological world of its own, with many summit plants found only on these tepuis. Among its unusual plants are carnivorous species that survive by capturing insects in nutrient-poor summit environments. From the air, the reason becomes clear. Roraima is an isolated island of rock above an endless forest. And after crossing this ancient summit, the journey back down means descending thousands of meters into a completely different world. But if Roraima feels like a world above the clouds, our next landscape looks like Earth itself is breaking apart. The Danakil Depression is one of Earth's hottest and lowest landscapes, with parts lying more than 100 meters below sea level. Beneath Danakil, 3 tectonic plates are pulling apart, slowly stretching and thinning the Earth's crust. As the depression sinks, volcanic heat and evaporating water leave behind enormous deposits of salt and minerals. At Dallol, hot brines emerge through the salt, leaving behind vivid yellow, green, and orange mineral deposits. These aren't ordinary hot springs. Some brines are intensely salty, extremely acidic, and can exceed 100 degrees Celsius. Some Dallol brines combine extreme heat, intense acidity, and salt saturation, conditions that push life toward its limits. But Earth's strangest landscapes aren't always shaped by heat and volcanoes. Sometimes water creates the impossible. Here, hot spring water flows down the hillside, slowly building terraces of brilliant white calcium carbonate. As the mineral-rich water loses carbon dioxide, calcium carbonate precipitates and gradually builds the white travertine. Over time, this process creates hundreds of shallow basins, cascading down the hillside like a natural staircase. For thousands of years, people came here too, building Hierapolis beside the springs to take advantage of their thermal waters. Hierapolis became a major thermal center with enormous baths and pools built around the mineral-rich springs. From Hierapolis, the white terraces formed an extraordinary backdrop, a natural landscape unlike anything around the ancient city. But nature isn't the only thing that can look impossible. Humans have built wonders in seemingly impossible places. This is Kailasa Temple in India, and unlike most temples, it wasn't built. It was carved from solid rock. Instead of stacking stone upward, the builders removed enormous amounts of basalt, leaving the temple standing within the mountain. From that single rock mass emerged a tower, halls, courtyards, pillars, elephants, and hundreds of sculpted details. Standing inside it, you stop seeing a cave and realize you're standing inside an entire three-dimensional temple carved from the earth. And among its masterpieces is Ravana attempting to shake Mount Kailasa, the sculpture itself carved into the living basalt. But if carving an entire temple from a mountain seems impossible, our final wonder takes the opposite approach. This is China's Hanging Temple, built more than 15 centuries ago directly into the face of a sheer cliff. It doesn't simply hang from wooden poles. The real support comes from beams anchored deep into the cliff itself. The builders relied on traditional mortise and tenon joints, locking timber members together without relying on modern steel framing. Above the beams, intricate dugong brackets interlock timber pieces, helping transfer the roof's weight through the wooden frame. Its timber frame isn't completely rigid. Its joints and brackets can deform and dissipate energy during earthquakes. Its strange location was also protective. The overhanging cliff shields the timber from rain, sunlight, and strong winds. From its narrow wooden galleries, the valley drops away beneath you, making the temple's height suddenly impossible to ignore. More than 15 centuries later, this extraordinary wooden complex still clings to the same mountainside, overlooking the gorge below. From ancient stone to impossible salt flats, from living islands to hanging temples, Earth keeps proving that reality can be stranger than imagination.